Haunter, Bjergsen were up 30-40 CS on their solo lanes, and that's something you usually see as kind of a mid-game explosion for that team. They're ready to make a move. So if they can just get that going, then find their footing when necessary here. It just seemed like Team Liquid bit back so hard every time TSM actually found an opening. Not something you usually see from these guys, but we know Liquid good from playing behind when they do, and can also hold the lead and push that forward as we just saw. 1-to-1 here as we get to these picks and bans. Zyrene, I think you might be right. You see this last one here from TSM.
Yep, Olaf, release Rek'Sai. Rise now instead of the Rengar. Last time they had previously banned Syndra, but they're okay with playing into Syndra now because they'll just play the Echo into it, but you assume it's the Rengar in exchange for the Kha'Zix.
Always hovered. Low loves. But yeah, Kha'Zix would be a simple pickup.
Yeah, also both
Would be a have to.
Zyra and Malzahar are on the table. Now you could go with Jhin Malzahar or Ashe Zyra. But they're going to make sure that they get the Kha'Zix in.
Yeah.
That's the thing, is if you save picking Kha'Zix for your third pick, what if they pick their mid laner? Then they'll ban out all the counters. So you kind of had to match in the first phases here. Pick whatever support you want. Or if you think there's a blind pick mid laner that is definitely worthy. Also, you could go for Ashe here. Depends on yeah, because the AD carry champion pool is pinched a little bit harder in that second ban phase if you pick one and ban two, as opposed to the support pool.
Spence Garen to pick now. You can actually see Bjergsen chatting it up with Parth in the back. TSM has had that good early game. Rengar gives them the ability to kind of act off of that throughout whatever lane gets strong. Safe bottom lane to go through as they're going to be facing the Ashe. Possibly Zyra if we don't see that as a ban.
And you see they're taking their sweet time with this too, because it's a discussion. Do we pick our mid laner here? Do we pick a support? Support's the more obvious one.
It's like a cafeteria fight in here. Okay, crowd's getting rowdy. I would have loved to see a Yasuo as well. I was right there with him. It's just I'm yelling into the mic, so I did. Bjergsen picks up the Maokai for Haunter. I do leave that mid open for the next roundabout. It might just be that Nautilus on the side of Lord.
Yeah, this would be the opportunity to pick the Fiora if you wanted to.
Right.
But you normally don't pick a Fiora unless you have a Rek'Sai or a Lee Sin jungle, somebody who's going to build tanky. When you have a Kha'Zix jungle, you want a tank top laner, or else you're just running a no-tank composition, and it just feels really bad.
Kind of put a time limit on your game. Say, well, we can get this far if we're ahead.
Well, you put more of an execution requirement on your team.
That's true. I like that better.
Because time, it's like the Fiora will eventually 1v1 anybody.
Yep. We have actually seen that through Guardian Angels and Fountain Reses.
She's quite strong. But
so there's the Malzahar Zyra. Pinched by Liquid are the supports. Looking back at Golden Glue here for the side of TSM. The Syndra gets taken out.
This is
what else they decide?
Strange that you would ban both of them instead of ban one, force your enemy to ban the other. Take one for yourself. Like, if you ban...
Oh, so they even say supports. Okay. Matt had the Thresh last game. Wouldn't it be bad as well?
Yeah, and you wouldn't want to completely blind pick your mid laner here unless it's Orianna, because the Cassiopeia is the other one that's kind of left in the trinity of Rise beats Ori, Ori beats Cass, Cass beats Rise. Ah, the Emperor.
Team played a mean one.
It wouldn't be a bad pick. You could see the Azir, the Corki would also be good. Talia if he's proficient on it. But there you go.
The Emperor is brought out. We'll see a bit of Shurima coming into this game. So TSM brings out the Azir versus Orianna, as that was picked up by Golden Glue on their first side of the second phase.
It's so strange that they want to last pick their support here when you could have had counter pick mid, or sorry, last pick. Yeah, last pick.
Yeah, no, you're right. Yeah.
because they could have taken a priority on Karma. They just value that so highly in the draft that they have the Thresh. That's so interesting that they don't want to have the Thresh counter picked, even though they had picked it blind previously, and then Lulu was the counter pick that TSM had brought out. Makes
her a scary Rengar, that's for sure. Getting those Karma shields and the speed up to get into the game. Great composition here coming from TSM. Golden Glue have always liked the Orianna play he's been able to bring to the table. And they may be able to lock those shockwaves up with an arrow or a depth charge to come in. So compositions definitely look sound. We'll see how it goes coming into game 3 here. It's really been kind of even with a slight factor in TSM's favor in CS, but we see that the game early is even, map-wise, macro-wise. It's hard to tell how this is going to go.
Oh yeah, it depends on where the junglers put their attention. Since Garen now has priority in the jungle with his pick over Reignover, unless Reignover gets about a level or 2 ahead, which is difficult to do because Rengar farms so quickly. You'd want to pay attention to this mid lane and this bottom lane and try to get an advantage there, because the top lane advantages usually become a wash. It's really on these carries that matters.
Final load in here, day 2 of week 2 for this game, TSM versus Team Liquid. As we head into game 3, players pushing themselves to the limits as we get into this one. We'll see that bot lane fire off once again. Ashe for Piglet once again. Matt on that Thresh. He was hitting the hooks last time. Not too much came of it, but he was more being a nuisance. Always like to see that, giving the other team trouble.
Yeah, gave him a lot of pressure in that lane, and that's what they played for. Go for the same lane composition, because it worked out so well last time.
All right, TSM versus Liquid. We're getting onto the Rift, and we are going to see who comes out early. It hasn't really even set the pace of the game that we do see it, but I feel like with this one, Bjergsen could do some damage on the Azir. It always was one of his tried and true as we went through last splits.
He also has heal as well. So the thing with the Azir is Ghost isn't always the greatest, because it doesn't matter where he's really positioned. It matters where his soldiers are positioned. So we'll see things like the heal, the barrier, sometimes exhaust on him. So we don't see that Ghost for the roaming or getting to the objective a little bit faster. Want to stay in that back line.
The choice of Orianna as well for Golden Glue, saying, oh, shields are good. I don't want to get Svenskeren popped as he comes in with Rengar. So although he would love the Cassiopeia pick, Rengar eats snakes for breakfast.
Yeah, it may have been a little bit of a takeaway as well, and that's why they took it so early, because you would assume if you take Karma, they go for Orianna, and then they have the Orianna-Rengar combination. Which
even scarier.
Could be the idea that TL had in mind, is we have to take Orianna here or else they take it. Because there was a ban on the Rise. You had to play something into the Orianna. May not be the best of matchups. Good poke.
They're going to hold it too. Should be Liquid entering the lane just on the top side of the waves so they can avoid this. Looks look like they're not going to stay too long, seeing if they can get extra damage onto Matt, but it's not coming through. And we are off to the races. Same thing as last time. We actually saw this for the past 2 games, I should say, this being the third. But there hasn't been the aggression towards the bot lane here, and Reignover usually takes full camps as he goes through instead of going buff to buff.
Yeah, and this the Kazakhs pull it back, wait for your W cooldown. Actually, he's taking 1. He's only taken 1. All right. Let's see what that does to his route.
We'll definitely keep an eye on it. Thought maybe Golden Glue would come over for a little extra, but nope. He just walks away. He's going to go ahead and get his blue, and we may see an early entrance for Reignover here if they want to get the game started.
Yeah, maybe so that he can be Wolves after, but if he goes Gromp or goes Scuttle, that's Svenskeren level 3 already. It's just so fast. Golden Glue chunked out already.
This is the last time you played against soldiers. Sometimes they can catch you off guard. I don't know what the answer is for Golden Glue, but just going for that CS costs him some pretty big dominance in the lane, I should say.
Oh, yeah, and you can see here, because of the fact Reignover last time in this matchup, he went buff to Raptors to buff. His level 2 is very scary for him. Didn't have a lot of mana. He goes buff to 1 Raptor to buff to pick up a Gromp afterwards.
He's inching him in there. You know, I took 1 this time, 2 Raptors next time.
He's making sure that he has both of his buffs early on in the game, so that if they do go for that move where they have the priority bottom with the Karma and the wave clear, that they can't invade and get a buff out of it.
Bjergsen trying to shove the waves in. Definitely makes it harder for an Orianna if you have to keep command, move, and dissonance. Waste so much mana in the early game. So Golden Glue trying to get those autos out. Lessen the health on these minions to keep the lane even.
Yeah, and he's trying to pull him a little bit forward here. But that lane is shoving up, and that's a very, yeah, it's a pretty obvious one, but he's going to get the Q off and the W. Just chunk him out, do a little bit of damage, get his potion out, because Golden Blue had to use his previously.
Ooh. You can already see the idea of Biofrost and Turtle here. Inner Flame or Mantra Inner Flame. Get that Soul Flare out into the piercing arrows every single time, and it's always easier to hit once you get that slow of the Soul Flare out. So TSM, easy win condition for that bot lane, but the hook condition, not going to be taken on that one.
Oh, the trade back and forth here. Svenskeren looking for the top lane, doesn't get spotted by a ward. Lorlo might think he's safe, and he's too far forward.
Sneaky cat. Nice flash, Bolo no slow. It doesn't have any empowered to come back with anything else either. So good job by Lorlo. A flash is there. We may see Svenskeren coming back up.
And Lorlo will use his TP to get back to lane most likely here, but it will put him in an awkward position. He may need jungle help to clear it unless it's a really aggressive push from Hauntzer. Hauntzer, he wants to back as well. Once that TP comes out and the Doran's rings for the shoving, you want to shove this wave. Make sure that you can get your own back.
Rings Potion Control Ward coming in for Golden Glue. Make sure he's safe out in the mid lane. Only got a little help from Rainover for a second, but Bjergsen has been able to just dominate HP-wise in that lane, controlling it. It's pretty normal for an Orianna. You're not going to do much in the early game anyways, but farm it out. So looking good in the mid. Bot lane, Turtle and Biofrost have kind of run out of mana here, so they're giving space to Matt to clean this up at the turret. Things are looking pretty decent for both teams as it is all even across the board.
Yeah, but when you give them space like this, you have to think, sure, we're getting turret damage as TL, but where's this Rengar? We don't have a Tri-Brush ward, so Kha'Zix has to play on this side of the map a little bit. This seems to be what they're doing, is they like this combination because they get to fish for hooks underneath turret to get chip damage. They're trying to look for that Rengar. That's good by Sven. That was actually really good that he didn't walk right over that ward after it was placed. Just made sure completely out of vision. Now he gets to walk around and go towards the bottom side of the map. Because now they think it's clear, right? Orianna just hit the scrying plant. Made it go towards the bottom side, so they knew nothing was going on over there.
A little plant denial there with the sustain as well.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, he sees it. No more of the days of just walking over the control wards. They're actually looking at the street now. Good clear out. It's 47-47 at mid lane. I'm actually really enjoying this matchup between Bjergsen and Golden Glue throughout this series here. Jungle presence or not, they've been giving it top-notch play. Hail of arrows into it. Piercing arrow to still follow possibly as it's on cooldown for Turtle. And no control from the brush, so the minions actually followed him in. That would have been a nice hook.
Yeah, Biofrost is actually running low on mana, and so is Wild Turtle, so they're actually going to slowly get pushed in here. And the Rengar, rather close. Don't think he's going to be 6, though. No, he's so close to being level 6. That's pretty much a scuttle away.
Sounds so close.
I know, it does.
Also close.
But the blue buff.
I was going to say this top side, but the minion wave isn't pushing it. Resets this Rainover, says, I'm going to come in. Not just yet. Getting good vision, though. Seeing Svenskeren not on the bottom side here. Knows that he's going to have some time to take this.
Yeah, but you have to have your lanes shove up. And you can see Bjergsen's like, that's fishy. Why is the Orianna shoving so hard and running up? And now you can see Maokai actually has a little bit of an inner track here on the top side. Does go over to Rainover, and he gets 6.
He's trying to hold it.
He's going to have to use Flash.
It seems that I don't think he wants to level that up just yet. You can see the claws as he gets over the wall. So they do get out with a blue. They stay true.
2 flashes for a blue.
Hey, they keep the consistency from last game, right? They continue to steal Bjergsen blues. Yeah, that is, though, I agree. So much to just get away with it. So trying to catch them or catch TSM off guard, it seems like they put themselves in a bit of a hole.
Yeah, this has to be like the most value blue you could ever think of on a Kha'Zix. Like he has to be able to make work of this because if Svenskeren and Bjergsen are both really wanting to punish this, the enemy blue is up. You go over there, you ward it. You now have an Azir and a Rengar that have flash priority over the Kha'Zix and the Orianna. So now Matt's going to come through and try to get some control of this side to make sure that doesn't happen. And so the backtimers, the bottom lane, actually lined up pretty well with the way they want to actually stop the potential of the play coming through.
Good safety checks by Matt. Lone warding is not a very safe thing to do. A little easier when you're Thresh and you can give yourself that vision. So he can leave Piglet all by himself. A little bit of solo CS, not that it matters too much, but keeping himself safe really allows Team Liquid to start setting up that vision, not have to worry too much about a certain lane. Could help collect some of these kills. Again, no kills here in the early game. Just waiting for, I guess, mistakes again. It seems like you get down to game 3, it's the nobody wants to lose aspect of how you play, so you never do much.
Oh, there they go. See, TSM went for it a little bit later because they had bottom priority late. They pushed up, but they weren't able to actually secure it. But they'll try to make something of this. They know that the flash isn't actually there for Rainover. Oh, they're not all on the same page. They don't punish him.
Ultimate's ready for Svenskeren. I thought he was going to go ahead and pop it there.
You would assume he's going to use that pretty much as Wild Turtle is throwing out the ultimate.
Just pulled back.
Didn't trust that he would hit it, or didn't actually think that that would be a play that they could make on that flashless Kha'Zix. But now Sven has to blow his. Ooh, hoo, hoo.
Tricky kid. He gets out of that one like a magician. Has to blow his flash, though. So they do actually try to go in. They say, Rainover, Golden Glue blew their flash. We could easily get into blue some way and try and make their day terrible. And it almost paid off big time.
Yeah, but it's the right idea. It's just a little bit late, or also the punish wasn't correct on how everybody's supposed to be on the same page.
Back to accepting volleys in the bot lane. Turtle waits for the wave to push up.
Accepting them.
Just waiting. I mean, there's not much you can do about it.
It'll happen.
Sometimes you can thread a minion in front of yourself, dodge it nice and easy if you're not standing behind a pile. But also, the level 6 here seems to be a bit stronger from Team Liquid. And it looks like Rainover is going to give a buff to that bottom lane.
Arrow?
There's the arrow. They feel the strength. Shield goes down. The heal as well comes through. Turtle, one more attack goes down. Double TP from the top side. Finished first by Haunter, but Lorlo is goal side to hook team, if you will, and throws out the anchor toss. There's the depth charge. And neither are going to connect enough for the engage for Team Liquid here, but looks like they're going to pressure this turret. Nice.
They're going to try to pressure the turret. Here comes Bjergsen, who doesn't have too many items just yet, sitting on a lot of gold, but he'll have the wave clear. He'll have the ability to actually potentially turn this around.
Yeah, they haven't gotten many shots on it.
Yeah, so
Piglet's kind of been on the backside, hitting champions, farming the last few minions in this situation. So, big reactions by everybody around the map. 10 minutes in here, we get our first fight. Let's see it again.
This is what they're going for, too. Matt is so low. You wouldn't expect this type of play. The flash, the box, the hook, everything onto Wild Turtle. They get his flash out. They also get his heal. He just slides right out of there. So Haunter doesn't have a target to Twisted Advance on him. Really feel good about it. Also, he doesn't have any damage follow-up here, aside from Svenskeren. That's the first blood. Ending up punishing Turtle. But that Ash arrow straight point blank.
I was wondering where they're going to try.
Yeah, it's a combination.
You saw Rainover coming down. We hadn't seen one yet. Both teams were 6 on that bot lane for support. And bot laners.
Oh, didn't get the shuffle. Trying to pull him back in.
Woo! Shuffle flash. It's all right. Getting their bearings again.
Yeah, that was not clean from Bjergsen at all. Cost him his flash because he doesn't actually throw Golden Glue over. Because if Golden Glue gets shoved back, he doesn't have his flash or ghost to escape.
Right.
Then Bjergsen slows him. It's up to Matt at that point to get like a really good lantern that doesn't push him through the wall. Then they just get shoved back. So it may have been enough time for Svenskeren to get there and actually get the ultimate and the crit to open up on Golden Glue. So the fact that Bjergsen missed, big error.
Combination mid lane. Bjergsen, Svenskeren together, but it was going to be bot again. That would have been a no counter from TSM. Luckily for them, the arrow misses. But it seems like now when that thing's coming off a cooldown, it's something they want to put right into the fight.
Yeah, Piglet going for the Essence Reaver, standard on Ashe to actually just get that cooldown reduction, keep throwing out those arrows, keep looking for those picks. Trying to punish Turtle, who's gone for a scaling build, so even his trading is more poke-oriented here, as opposed to actual just straight-up team fighting. So that Tyr's going to wait to scale as this Ashe is going to be throwing out arrows left, right, and center.
Matt seems like he's going to get his roam on here. Not too much going down in the bot lane. Very quiet after that kill. Thinking we have this Kha'Zix team, this Rengar team. You get a few more kills, you get a few more chances to get into the fight. But a lot of respect here. They did try, I gotta say, they did try twice to get Golden Glue and Rainover's flash. So TSM being very proactive and working off things they were able to spend by losing that blue.
Blue buff coming up again. Svenskeren is back.
Hey guys, our blue is up.
Yep, I guess they have to sack it again. Blue buff control here for Team Liquid in game 2 and 3. And that's how they're attacking Bjergsen. Right? They're making sure that they have a good matchup in Champion Select and banning him out a little bit and counterpicking. Here, they made sure that he couldn't have the Orianna and have that combination with Svenskeren. And now they just keep targeting the blue every time on cooldown. This is actually just something that you can punish eventually if you start looking for it and prepare. Because if TL's preparing for that blue a minute in advance with their waves, TSM, they notice it about 30 seconds too late. And then, oh, Svenskeren's backing, and now he has to walk all the way there.
And that gets hard to put yourself or your team in the move that says, hey, we can be one step ahead here. We can be one step ahead here. TSM now trying to get vision to make that possible.
Exactly. So now that Golden Glue has to back, they're going to have to invade here. They had priority on the bottom side. And the reason that they have priority at the bottom side is because Piglet and Matt, although they play aggressive and they have been playing aggressive, when... Sorry, I was like, is somebody going to TP in? No, okay. So, the reason that they were playing aggressive is because they were able to play aggressive. Piglet and Matt, let me just get this right, were playing back because they had their jungler on the top side of the map, which is a standard thing to do. It's that push and pull. It's that yo-yo. When your jungler's top, don't make an aggressive play bottom until you see where the enemy jungler is. So even though TL had no idea where Svenskeren was exactly, they still respected that on the bottom side, which is good to see because they didn't play aggressive and get punished for it.
You got to remember everything, not even just your lane. It makes it all come together that much easier, especially when your team is following an all-in communication. Noting that blue went to Svenskeren as well as Bjergsen and team tried to steal it, so ouch.
Yeah, no, the strategy, apparently Svenskeren's in on it too. Deny all the blues from Bjergsen.
Get it in. He's got to be thinking a little, obviously Bjergsen, pretty clear head when he goes through these games, but you're losing your blues. You got to find these that you can find that resource very much other places or any other places, but he's now got to focus on still calling the game, knowing he's a bit behind here, CSing quite well, but the game with the blue, the confidence, kills coming in is one you're much more sure about calling strats.
Yeah, and the blue on Azir means a little bit more than it does for other champions in the mid lane because most are going to go Lost Chapter into Morello, which takes care of a lot of your mana problems, but the Nashor's Tooth not having any resources on it for him, it doesn't help him at all in that category. So he has to be very conscious of how he's spending his mana.
Svenskeren just trying to get bigger. They know they're really not in the realm of fighting too big right now unless they get a big pick. And just 16 minutes in, slow but in favor of Team Liquid here with the ability to put wards forward, kind of control those wards. You see they were just pushed out of the jungle. So slowing down even more now as they get back to lane. A little mismatched here for Piglet in the bot side, so he may have to be careful.
Yeah, we aren't seeing really proactive plays from these junglers. Everybody's just respecting each other's vision and just playing it super slow. So we're not seeing like
even
inline
Biofrost is
ganks.
back, so
We're not seeing like the Chain of Corruption come out as the ultimate from Rengar is coming out for a lane gank. So it's just been a game of push and pull in the mid lane and trying to get control. And I do feel like these teams are playing a little bit more reserved than they should be.
Second ultimates for the solo laners coming up at level 11. Teleport bot lane was actually a big play that opened up game number 2. Again, we still have yet to see some of those big teleports from Haunter and Lorlo.
Yeah.
They just came back up from their kind of secondary teleports back.
Yep, it's Drake control time, Drake fighting time here. He smited early just to make sure that it goes down. Ah, Matt got caught. That's going to lock up Golden Glue as well. But they don't jump in. Actually, Bjergsen goes straight back to mid, and so does Svenskeren. Svenskeren's actually trying to catch in rotation, but look at this as well. Here comes Haunter down, and they're trying to collapse on Golden.
Golden Glue, yeah, Svenskeren jumps in quite early on Golden Glue. The gap not closed by Bjergsen alerts them, but the mid lane is still cut off. It's the objective they're looking for. They're going to have to slow down on this one. Arrow through the uprights. Good dodge out by TSM. They know it's getting a little too hairy, and they're going to have to step out of this.
Yeah, the fact that they brought Haunter down from the top lane as well gave them extra pressure there. So Lorlo shoves out the top wave and says, all right, if that turret doesn't go down and I get at least a small CS and experience advantage, then it's worth it. But it's still in favor of Haunter. He's still picked up more, and he actually is up about a little bit of a level. Just tiny bit.
Love it. Everything's going on mid lane. 80 carries are like, we're going to head back down to bot, farm it out. You guys can fight. And then they realize nothing's coming of this one. Both teams back off now. 169 to 163 as those two are left alone to their own divide down the bot side and doing pretty even for themselves. Still waiting to see the plays coming in from Bjergsen on this Azir. We have seen Svenskeren with a few kind of heads toward the mid lane.
Yep, and now a blue buff going over to Bjergsen. Finally, will be able to pick one up for himself. Unless Svenskeren.
Here comes the shot barrage.
He like stops at 1,000 HP. Like, okay, it's not happening again.
No Ezreal. Where'd that come from?
Yeah, making sure you don't want to lose a game or get disadvantaged because of something like that. Small mistake there. Oh, Matt. Trying to be cheeky with his
he does have that flash up. He was actually hovering the top side when everybody was just in mid. He was over where that kind of control ward is, other side of the wall waiting. These flash hooks they've been hitting.
Yep.
He's only tried a few. But if you're confident in that, the team's going to follow behind you. Biofrost walking over a ward as he tries to clear out some of the jungle here. Looks like TSM may get a bit of focus on mid.
Looks like a bottom side rotation right now for most of the team. Looking at that blue buff. Seeing if it will be handed off to Golden Glue here, or Svenskeren is going to want to try to make a play on the bottom side. I was talking about chain of corruption into these types of plays. That's a big zone there. Biofrost is playing so far up. Like at that point, TL's like, they want to get the blue. Make sure you hand it off right now. Trying to get priority in the jungle. And maybe the jungler is here. Because that was Biofrost just rushing up with a shield on himself. Like, it's a dead giveaway.
Hey, you gotta do what you can. Sometimes they take it and they have no idea what to do. But Liquid not getting fooled. Rainover heads out to clear out the Scuttle Crab. What's the next move here? You do have that Rengar. Obviously, he's going to be able to crush stuff down. With his ability to get out of CC, it doesn't mean he has to go in when everybody is really squishy in the early game and win from there, right? You can get yourself into a dangerous fight now. So what is TSM kind of looking for with where they're at?
Answer your question of what the next move is. It's literally anything, Riff. Something needs to happen, and I'm talking about like
that a request?
arrows. I'm talking. Yes, yeah, it is a request for your sake as a play-by-play. There's only been one kill in a 20-minute game, but it's because everybody's just fighting for control, right? But you have to be throwing out these arrows. You have to be taking these risks. Throw arrows, hooks. Have your junglers on these sides of the map, or else you're really not going to be able to get too much done. We've seen things like rotations where you shove out bot, and then you put your bottom lane randomly top, and you get the push and tempo advantage. So we haven't even seen a play like that yet.
Spikes and claws for Rainover in his secondary upgrade. They can do a little bit more, offer the team some AoE now.
Yeah,
head towards top side.
The fact that you're one of the changes to Kha'Zix in the Assassin update was that his W doesn't slow by itself anymore. You have to actually upgrade it, and then it will slow, I believe, 40% for 2 seconds. And then once you upgrade it, it'll also be an 80% slow on isolated targets. So it's a massive slow if you're actually going for a gank. And this is something that people are going more and more towards with the upgrade of the W second as opposed to the E.
Looks like bot lane could be a quick takedown here. Oh, they spent some time to take out the ward, so it looks like Piglet Matt will be able to get down to the bot side, waiting for this game to open up. Really, the Cloud Drake in favor of TL was kind of from a top side fight, and they were able to just hold off.
Oh, and now it looks like because they have a 2-item spike on Bjergsen, the Rylai's Crystal Scepter changes to be cheaper. Really good for Azir, because now he hits this point where he's got a ton of utility. Great for him. Gonna try to make a counter here, but that turret is so low.
Biofrost gets out easily. He knows about the chill. He's just gonna shield everybody and they get out nice. So a few more hits on this. Golden Glue wants to take down the Sun Disc.
Yeah, but every time he walks up, he'll just get chunked out.
Yeah.
Now that attack speed and the slow coming through for Bjergsen makes it so difficult to walk up. You can see that CS advantage again for Bjergsen pretty much every game.
Finally opened up the middle of the map. Maybe TSM gets some forward wards down. Start locking down these side-to-side lane plays. Matt looking to get a play here with the bottom side. Rainover as well.
Yeah,
teleports are up for both top laners. Don't think it's going to be teleports to save this turret, though. There's not much to be had there.
Yeah.
They hear the roar.
Orianna.
Svenskeren just on the outside of this play. Rainover throwing down the ultimate.
Yeah, making sure that he can move away a little bit faster. He's still tracking him, though. It lasts so long now. But moving towards Orianna in the mid lane, you can see as soon as it pops up on him, he's like, run away! Make sure. He's getting zoned off. But yeah, that was the right play there from TL to push up, and also the right play from TSM to try and get a chain of corruption and to actually pick up somebody afterwards. So Orianna wasn't there. Orianna was still in the mid lane. Bjergsen would have had the advantage to just get in that fight and make it favorable for TSM.
So a little dragon control going into TSM's favor. This is just after they drop the mid lane turret. Things are working in their way. And even more so, another blue for Bjergsen. Yep. So you can see, even in small ways, TL losing their control over being to be first to the jungle, first to put those wards deeper. And TSM is able to get a little back out of it. They're kind of just getting back to par on that blue buff.
Yep, just getting some more for Bjergsen, but it didn't matter. The guy has the CS advantage. Nothing happened in the mid lane. The game just kind of stalled out a little bit. The gold is so close right now that it pretty much doesn't matter. It comes down to the execution in the fights and who's got the power spike at the right time. Whereas like bottom lane, it's 2-item power spike right now for Piglet, and the Edge of Night just came through for Wild Turtle. So he has the poke a bit online right now, whereas Piglet does have a bit of team fighting. And yeah, but at least he's throwing out the arrows on cooldown because he has that extra cooldown reduction from the Essence Reaver and the extra crit item. And I'm looking at Golden Glue's build and the Ludens to help him run around a little bit faster, dodge out on Azir soldiers, and not take like 3 to 4 auto attacks inside of them. Also getting a little bit of burst. But you can't let this Azir scale to 6 items.
Well, that's the thing. Why not pick Azir? TSM has had these games going late. You're gonna get 6 items at some point if that keeps happening. And then the game may even go longer if they're not getting the kills they need to open up these turrets and get more vision.
Yeah, it's not a bad call if you think Team Liquid kind of suck at closing games out because it's so slow even when they had an advantage. You could pick something that scales with a late game like this.
That's the reason they did it. Yeah? They said, it's going late. We should pick Azir. No. Let's see if it works out for him. Coming up on level 16. That'll be that 3rd level of ult. Haven't seen a good Emperor's Divide yet that he's had a chance to really get into. We saw that one hit in the mid lane that wasn't as polished as usual. So still a bit of a misplay mechanically there as he takes Azir into this pick ban phase. After the, woo, what a split. Nicely done. I think they high-fived over it.
Yeah.
Great job.
And Turtle, I actually didn't see what he used his Edge of Night on previously because that just helps you block those Ash arrows or go for an engage. Yeah. Not have to worry about the counter engage yet. Another Sun Disc going up in the mid lane for control here.
It's great. I love these. You just set up camp outside of your base. You have so much more push. And Bjergsen actually, I thought he was going to use Svenskeren there, but he doesn't even need him. Svenskeren's going to go and pick up his jungle. Yeah. Make sure wards are clear. Allows
you a position that's more forward than you normally would be because you have the safety of this turret that you just sprung up from the ground. Keeping 2 people occupied. Quite good, because now you get to shove up top. You get to put your Rengar up there, and there we go!
Very quick on the Lantern and the click.
Yeah, because you saw the Kha'Zix in the mid lane, you know that you have at least a small advantage for a small window of time, but that's turret damage up top.
Only at half. Hook around. Oh, he gets the outside box of Frost. It's going to put him in a bit of damage, but Turtle's trying to grab the outside as well to put damage on his back line. Arrow coming forward. Oh, Turtle walked into it. The shell's down, though. He's nice and tanky. That's going to be Svenskeren jumping in. Not a lot of health between these 3 members, and they are going to limp away from the fight doing what they can. The turret will finally go down, but TSM in and out with the aggression. TL can't do enough to stop him.
Yeah, they got chunked out too much under turret. The poke from the Varus and the Azir just made it so that they couldn't really contest it. You could see Matt, he wanted to walk up and capitalize on that arrow because it looked like a really good one. Then Svenskeren jumped in, and they almost got Golden Glue there. Had to blow both of his summoners, whereas Bjergsen's just in a good spot now. So TSM actually have a bit of an advantage here in terms of their summoner spells. They may be able to turn this into something more. That's the thing, right? They're always like, oh, let's make a play. The first play you make gets you a turret and summoner spells. So the next play you make could be worth even more if you capitalize within that window when those summoners are down.
Depends on all the things you're thinking about as well, because even when those summoners are up and you know the ultimates are down, you kind of play that role. Yep. Catch the enemy off guard when they think they have a few minutes to wait. And you're waiting as well. No waiting here for Liquid. They realized they lost quite a bit in mid. Then to the Dragon. Now they lost their top turret, so they're trying to hit back in top lane. Power of numbers is kind of scattering them. Mid goes back to normal. They could have been pushed as well. So TSM playing this one quite well here at the 28-minute mark to have TL kind of scrambling for the next objective.
Yeah, but both teams are playing rather reserved. In game 3, nobody has the advantage right off the bat, and it's just neck and neck. And this just comes down to who can break the game wide open, who can make that play and get their team ahead. Svenskeren just keeps checking with the ultimate here. Everybody's grouped up, though. It's so hard to start a fight off and feel confident in it.
That's true.
When it's like a 4-on-4, because getting outplayed, the summoners are up, becomes a big thing you have to factor into the equation. Don't always factor that into my games, though. Sometimes you just jump right in.
Nobody does that.
Yeah, you gotta do something. Huh? Rotation here at the bot lane. Lorlo slowly losing this turret against the Maokai. And they're pulling so many people to the bottom side here.
Well, I think that's what it comes down to with this one. The eventual push. The thing you think will happen. Bjergsen knows there's a shockwave coming, so he flashes out of that. Haunter's going to fight back. It's a push by
Spencer towards more members
in the mid lane. That's always a bad feeling, but sometimes it happens. You try to get the play to safety, and you get the play that makes yourself go down. Matt gets hit up. TSM has been chomping at the bit to find one of those kills. They even took down top turret with TL getting away. They finally drop a member. That'll open up the map a little bit more for wards and, as we see, the dragon.
Yeah, and they're probably going to push up this bottom lane turret and get this one as well. Piglet was top lane, shoving out the wave. So TSM knew that this was a numbers advantage for themselves. Good thing from Bjergsen to back off there. And he blew the flash, so Goldie Glue was a good heads up to throw the ball over the wall and just try to go for the ultimate and catch him out. But we aren't seeing those explosive plays just yet. We're seeing small, tiny little leads. There's a ward in there, and Golden Glue says, all right, let's try to catch him out. Good shockwave as well in reaction. And then Lorlo here, I'm pretty sure, like, if he keeps walking, the W from Orianna came out, and it's just put Matt in a bad position, who no longer had flash from the previous play. He doesn't get a hook there. Even if they fought, it's a 4-on-5. That's going to be the top turret, though, for TL, and for back to 1,000 gold.
It took a bit, though. That top turret was whittled down over the course of a few times going top with the whole team, one after the other. And finally, Haunter isn't there to protect it. So now mid turret is the last thing that stands. TSM being able to open that up really allowed them into Liquid's jungle, which slowed things down. I know we keep saying that, but these guys are so measured coming into this game 3. I think TSM might be feeling, maybe Haunter, that this was a little harder than he thought it would be, as he kind of stated in the beginning. But I feel like Liquid as well, I feel like they're getting quite a game out of this, thinking they were going to come in very strong.
Yeah, and now it comes down to seeing those opportunities to make the game easy for yourself. Golden Glue can get a shockwave on somebody like Bjergsen, who now has his flash down. That's the thing I said, it usually takes 2 plays. It usually takes one shockwave to blow the flash, and then a second shockwave to actually capitalize on it. And these Piglet arrows.
I would like to welcome the viewers for NALCS 2 as we almost start off with a fight. That'd be a nice welcome. Thanks for joining us. A 1-to-1 here in what was a series of a lot of kills. Just about 30 in the first one, 40 kills in a 40-minute game. Near the second, it's just absolutely crazy. This one, very tempered. So as you join us, we are also waiting for the fights.
Yeah. And talk a little bit more on this Varus build that we're seeing emerge as opposed to a crit or attack speed build. It really just keeps Ashe at arm's length. You keep throwing your poke through the tank and hitting Ashe, and every time she throws out an arrow, if you have Edge of Night up for that 10-second duration of the spell shield, like, you're not getting caught out. Wild Turtle just did that. I think he also just blew his heal. Yep.
The team approaches the turret. Bjergsen with his Azir pick. First one of his spring season now is able to keep the rest of the team at bay, and it's just Matt and Piglet. Hooks to deter them, volleys to try and back them off, and TSM isn't having any of it, and they take down another second tier.
Yeah, it's such a scary composition with the Azir and the Varus. There's so much poke, and then you have the Karma for the disengage, for the speed up, and also contributing to the poke as well. Not to mention, if you try to engage, like, you have a Kha'Zix try to jump in on an Azir. It's so hard to reach him. He has the Emperor's Divide to push you back. Yeah. The Maokai has the peel. Right now, looks like they have control, and they're going to Blast Cone in. They get spotted, but they don't care. They're going to start it up.
Quick Scrying Orb. Bjergsen's going to be able to help crush this down. Haunter in the front to tank Baron. Lorlo gets the shield. It doesn't look like they want in. TSM peels off the Baron. It's going to be Lorlo and Haunter in the front, just how it should be. Lorlo's pulled to the back, and Haunter wants the back line just as much. Zenscarin, Piglet, flash. What a flash to get out of that one safely. Zenscarin now choosing a target. It doesn't seem like TSM can get on the target they want. Kha'Zix goes in. That's going to be Rainover going right back out. Zenscarin now the focus with Haunter in the front, still trying to get the vengeful Maelstrom to deny the damage from Team Liquid. 1 for 1 in that scrappy fight. And TL is limping away.
Yeah, a lot of flashes blown though, so the next fight won't have it available for Haunter or Zenscarin, and they don't really have a great way to avoid the shockwave, whereas Piglet and Matt, those are the big ones. The bottom lanes blowing their flashes. Next Rengar ulti, you're right on top of that, Ash, and then they have to be able to peel you off and do it effectively. It's good.
Just again, yeah, TSM saying, hey, we want to force a fight. Let's go.
Yeah, in fact, they start at the Baron, and then they all get out of the pit, then Karma ulti to re-engage there is good, because they get out of a situation where Golden Glue could ultimate and really turn the fight around. And that's really what they have to avoid, is the Golden Glue ultimate here is the big one. Only hits 2 members there, doesn't get Bjergsen, he was right out on the edge. They get the support, and they end up trading their support forward as well. So it's support for support, 1 for 1. This summoner spell's being blown at the very end.
Lorlo saves the GA, Rainover, GA as well. Head over to Haunter himself. It is on. So all the GA is ready to be used the next fight. Quite a few flashes, heals used in the last one. And an exhaust for Biofrost. It could turn it in their favor as they approach. Now Lorlo, maybe that GA won't be up much longer. He gets himself dredge line to safety.
What am I saying? He's caught. It is a tank. You can make those mistakes. In fact, sometimes they're good because you pull a lot of people to you and your team gets to make a play on the other side of the map. But this game, Zenscarin doesn't have the CC removal.
Wow, very fertile. Not even any lane wards here for TSM. Uncharacteristic to approach the situation with nothing on either shoulder for vision. And they keep coming in. Yeah, they'll take Haunter in that hook. Nobody can approach through the box. That's instantly. Haunter going down. Bjergsen found with the dredge line. Emperor's Divide back as they're going to go for Lorlo now. That GA has to be popped. This is TSM finding their assessment in the fight to say, we can go back in. And Liquid says, all right, that's enough. 1 for 1.
Man, I did not miss Azir in professional play. I will tell you that, because he is so annoying. If you don't have the right composition to deal with him, he just becomes a monster. You have to just blow up Azir right from the get-go, but they don't really have enough tools to do that. They don't have a flanker. They don't have something like an Echo that's going to get on him. He has enough peel, and Bjergsen goes untouched in these fights, and he deals so much damage. TP to the bottom right side here, and that's just going to be the TP blown from Lorlo as they look for a little bit more. Rainover?
Yep.
They don't have control because that Sun Disc.
Turtle playing very far in front of the turret. Good thing there wasn't a mat there, somebody with a hook. But that's the confidence they're playing with right now. They're ready to step up to the plate and show Liquid that they feel like they're stronger already with that Baron attempt. Baron shows that. And how about again? As you say, Baron. The ward in the back of the brush, or back of the pit as well.
The control ward is actually just disabling the vision, and that's going to be Baron for TSM.
Yep. 3-3 kills for kills as they go back and forth here in this slugfest, and a bit of money is put in control wards here for TSM as they all put some in the inventory, ready to move up the vision. You can tell the pace they want to set this.
That's a flank. He's actually flanking from the right side here onto Rainover, but Matt is caught again.
Quick takedown. This is one of the first times we don't see a trade for kills. Opposition on the map, numbers up for TSM. Where do they go after the Elder? They're looking at this with 2. An ocean and a mountain underneath.
They got everything they need right now. They have Baron buff, they have the Elder Dragon. It's been a slow game, but they're hitting those gigantic power spikes that just become so ridiculous to deal with, and you have to have drafted for it. They didn't shut down the Azir. They took away some blue buff.
Right.
It's not enough.
A lot of that power as well coming from Bjergsen throughout this series. That rise in the first game. The Realm Warps won the game. That's just how that played out. Bjergsen played very well. And then we saw Rainover with a beautiful game number 2. And here it seems more of TSM members are kind of shining in game 3, making it difficult for Liquid to repair the errors.
Yeah, the way that Piglet is positioning right now, it looks like he was just looking for arrows and trying to see if he could pick somebody off. If they could deal enough damage to take someone out. Right now it's just damage control. Try to make sure that you don't fight while the Elder Dragon and the Baron are both on the enemy team. So TL to play it slow, just like this entire game so far.
Looks like they're all going to head towards mid. Very nicely played. It's going to catch TL quite off guard. Not that they can do much to protect this. They're looking to fight under the Nexus turrets anyway, so they're getting themselves into position. Bottom push wave, top push wave. So they can think about what to do next. Hopefully they can get TSM off guard. This could be some time to maybe put a few wards out, but it is scary to just leave the base.
Yeah, it's very scary to leave the base. Honestly, everybody's been kind of scared to move around at any point on this map. It's just been vision control back and forth until, yep. Like that's the moment where you go, man, this, I know Kha'Zix is a good champion, but this just sucks. This just feels so bad. You jump in, the Maokai roots you. You jump onto the Azir, he just knocks you back, or he just gets away. It's so hard to play around this. You just pretty much play poke, but the enemy has better poke than you.
Yeah.
And now, Reignover.
Even when you want to get those kills, you have shields coming in from Biofrost, who has been on point. I mean, he can just mantra the whole team, but if he needs to save you, he has not been missing. Second inhibitor now to go down. TL is actually taking so many hits here, and they're starting the fight with 75% health on the majority of their members. It just makes it so much more difficult to even stop the hits on their inhibitor.
Yeah, and they have to seed all of these objectives slowly because they don't have the opportunity or really the team to fight, because they didn't make enough early moves to just punish the Azir and try to catch him out. Or not enough successful ones. Now they're really relying on Golden Glue to get like a godly ultimate, whereas TSM just kind of can continue to play it slow. TL will bleed out. But you know TSM, they want to move to 3-1 in the standings. Small stumble at the beginning, but if they can end their week only one match behind Cloud9, and be pretty much exactly what they're looking for here.
FlyQuest up there as well.
Yeah, FlyQuest has the possibility of ending in that 4-0 for themselves. You want to stay up there, and you definitely want to stop TL from having an advantage over you, having themselves going 2-1. You know, that tiebreaker being head-to-head.
More push down towards this bottom side. It's the only thing TSM has before the base is completely broken for TL. And we're already hitting level 18s across the board. The support's obviously the only ones down. You can see how Matt has been going down a lot recently. He's still level 13, which obviously isn't making or breaking the game, but you can see the troubles they've been having kind of keeping the position, their presence on the map.
Yeah, I'll put it in perspective. TSM have 4 kills. Matt has 4 deaths. He's literally the only person who has been killed by TSM. They've just been picking him off, and that gives them the objective when they get the support, or it's just a counter kill and you trade the support.
Hey man, it's supports have to ward alone. Nobody goes with us. No, I'm just kidding.
They don't have
but
to.
It's been on TSM as well to make sure those roams for him are found, being in the right position and having the wards over TL to get those single picks. Turret takes half HP, and finally Team Liquid sort of fight back a little. Nice double hit there. It's about 1,000 damage across both of them.
They're just taking so much damage from the poke, from the Varus, and from the Azir. And now they just have to look, they just slowly seed their base. Oh, Edge of Night wore off. What?
Jump in from Reignover. He actually gets a hit. I was saying Reignover couldn't actually get anybody to go down. The backline is getting hit by Sven, Skaren, and Haunter. Sven has to come out. They're focusing on the inhibitor, and they're letting the team know that as Biofrost and Bjergsen are backing up even more to know they can't get in. One last hit. Inhibitor saved. Oh, he comes up from TA.
No, he wants.
The bop. Sven, Skaren in. The tether hits. No resolve coming in there. Yes. The GA is popped. I didn't see that Bjergsen was going to be in range for the soldiers. That's something else that has really come into play this game. Lorlo has been getting to the back line well, but now Bjergsen's soldiers can get to the front line always, as we've been seeing the mid laners do in this game. Looks like Reignover going to go down. They're using their GAs all willy-nilly as Reignover comes back up. Is it enough time to get Lorlo back into here to prevent Biofrost a full escape? They're still running this one out. A dissonance coming in from Golden Glue. Emperor's Divide shuts it off, and the shot.
Oh, the arrow on
Bjergsen
Bjergsen!
gets hit. Is this the turnaround? They've been waiting for it, but what can they get off it? 35 seconds on the Baron, 40 to 60 seconds on the death timers. There could be a chance as Biofrost stutter steps himself to safety.
Oh man, that was so back and forth. And TL down 8,000 gold are able to hold on just barely there. And their base, that's an absolute shambles.
They're not working with much. This is a wet cardboard box here. It's drying off. Actually, the side just fell off of the box, but it's drying off. It can still be strong.
Yeah.
We'll see this fight one more time.
I was talking about Shockwave there for Golden Glue. Arrow hits onto Wild Turtle, and then they get the Shockwave onto him. They blow him up, but then how do you handle Bjergsen in that backline? Now he just gets to just throw out damage the entire time. He gets ultied from Lorlo, but then there's no follow-up. They can't reach him. Just Hauntzer's just a gigantic wall, and everybody doesn't have enough HP on TL's side to re-engage it. They have to just pull back, get Haunzer. Lorlo's up a little bit too far. Whew. And gets chunked out there from Bjergsen. So yeah, that's the problem with fighting this composition with the one that TL has is, sure, you'll kill Wild Turtle or Bjergsen, but you got to get both here. And it's so hard to actually get to Bjergsen in these fights. If you've used your tools to reach Turtle, they do end up getting him with the arrow. And now TSM are the ones who are on the Baron. The base is now just slowly coming back up for TL, though.
Well, these are long fights. You know the replays are as long as the death timers when they're near 50, 60 seconds. These are some end game fights going on right now between TSM and TL. It's what we've got out of the past few games. It's just there aren't 40 kills now when we're approaching 40 minutes. Much more tempered in the sense that both teams playing to not lose here. But now they obviously have to put the pedal to the metal, heading towards the top side as the inhibitors start to spawn. It'll be mid and top to go for.
And looking for another play here. Wild Turtle.
They want to get these minions?
Edge of
No,
Night
they'll leave them.
off.
And that bot minions will push by themselves. Rain over, taking a good bit of damage. Definitely needs to reset on his mana, so he's going to head back to the fountain. Obviously, the home guards will get him back quite quick, but it's not quick enough to stop that from happening.
They're actually not going to go for that top inhib just
They already
they're
have the
actually
middle
looking
one.
at turret.
Yeah, why not?
Arrow?
They have the minions right there. Double siege on this wave coming in. Rainover's the first one in, trying to just tank up everything. They're killing him. They don't have to focus on Lorlo. He's not doing too much to the team. Going right through. Golden Glue goes down. Now Emperor's Divide back as they're trying to get to the fountain, but it's just blocked off. But TSM owns all of this zone in a really hard-fought series from both teams. TSM takes down TL 2-1.
An incredibly slow match,
That one
but TSM
slowed down a lot.
You see Bjergsen, it's like that game was not action-packed. He didn't get to make Trima shuffles or any great plays there, but at the very end, Golden Glue tried to go for the Shockwave, only hit Haunzer, and didn't get those priority targets, so then he got to fly in, have a little bit of fun. 45 minutes in.
So within these games, there's kind of the word decisiveness, going in, making things happen. It somewhat happened in the first two games. I don't know how decisive the plays were that brought out 40 kills. They kind of knew they needed to fight each other to take and give, right? One died, we can still trade one there and maybe get something, and that's really the way the first two games played. So back and forth. And just as you saw in this one, 1-for-1 kill, 2-2, 3-3. It could obviously go on, and then it broke once we finally saw Matt getting caught. TSM slowing down that game allowed them to kind of play their rotation style and use that. Even with the blue steals of Bjergsen, great job by TL there.
Yeah, this is a game that the teams will go back to and look at and be like, okay, why didn't we make a play bottom here? We had Arrow, we had Hook, we didn't know where the jungler was. They were playing defensive. And then on TSM side, it's okay, why didn't we make a play bottom here? So it's going to be kind of looking at the missed opportunities and how they could have actually just been more proactive in the game. Because it was a very, very drawn-out game that for teams at the top level of League of Legends, you shouldn't really have those types of games where you're going even the entire time. You have advantages, but they do have an Azir, right? They can sit back on that. When you look at TL,